I'm Ellen. I have been a volunteer with Skills for Living since my sophomore year of high school, and I first found them in basically a search for volunteer service opportunities. I really wanted a service opportunity that I felt would actually impact the community and that would also speak to my passion for economics and for finance, and so Skills for Living seemed like the perfect fit. And so when I went there, well, as I expected, it was the perfect fit. And when I first went through the game, I mainly just expected, I expected, of course, to be able to work with students and educate them, and also to learn a little bit about financial planning myself. But what came out of the experience was so much more than that. I first walked in there as a 15-year-old, and a lot of the students that I was team leading for were actually older than me. And it was quite intimidating to have to speak with them and try to connect, especially with these kids from unfamiliar backgrounds. I myself am really fortunate to have a family who really loves me and cares for me, and I know that a lot of the students are not fortunate enough to have that. And so it was definitely a challenge connecting with them, but I found that if I approached it from the angle of a friend rather than just an instructor or an outside advisor, they were a lot warmer and a lot quicker to catch on. And so through that first summer, I connected with students, and one of them especially was named Maya. And actually it was me and Liu Allen right there in the back. We were basically a team together teaching these students, and Maya was a girl who had never, well, she had college aspirations, but they weren't very well formulated, and she wasn't quite sure how to get there. And so through the class, and also through both of us personally speaking with her and mentoring her, we had her checking out SAT books and studying for that exam by the end of the period. And so through that first summer, I basically learned how best to connect with students and how to also better connect with adults. And so the one thing I knew for sure was that I wanted to come back for more. And so the next summer, I was back, and this time team leading students at Lee High School. And this group of kids was definitely very just, I guess, diverse is the best word to describe them. There was one kid named Chris, who was quite the troublemaker in class at first. He definitely was full of energy, and he had a lot of strong opinions. But we also discovered that he had a penchant for math and for working things out. And so we allowed him to kind of channel his energy into figuring out these logic problems. And towards the end of the class, he, I believe, graduated and actually was one of the winning teams. And he, I think, wants to come back as a team leader. And he's actually, if I'm not mistaken, working on that right now. And also, another girl who I think is very remarkable, her name is Anna. And she, at the very beginning of class, on the first day, she wouldn't say a word. And before I begin, though, let me give a shout out. The instructor for that class was actually Nibal Marcus, who is in the back of the room right there. And we all worked together very hard with this class of students. And Anna, in the beginning, she wouldn't say a word, and she just was very shy and withdrawn. But towards the end of the program, she was coming to us and expressing her desire to become more involved in school, in photography, and also to give back with Skills, to come back and volunteer and give back to Skills for Living. And so out of that summer, I feel that there was not only an amount of tremendous personal growth, but there was a lot of growth I was able to basically affect my students even more through the growth that I had achieved from the previous summer. And so together, we basically all gained not only a deeper understanding of how to prepare for college and prepare for a career, but also just how to plan out and to live our lives. And so now I feel that we were able to help strike in those students a chord of wanting to give back, to help break the cycle of poverty. And so through the personal growth that I achieved, this summer I actually had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. as a U.S. presidential scholar and shake hands with President Obama. And that was a very thrilling experience, but it was also very humbling because I met the other scholars and I met those other great leaders, and I saw that if it had not been for Skills for Living and the growth that they had helped me achieve, I would not be there, with them, interacting with these future leaders. And a lot of my students would not be where they are right now, ready to become future leaders and to give back and help their fellow students grow as well. And so after that summer, I'm almost done, I promise. After that summer, I decided to start up a kind of a youth branch of Skills for Living known as Youth for Skills for Living. And it was basically focused on helping basically the students who had gone through the game continue basically applying what they had learned, and also bringing the game back to Katy ISD, where I'm from, where the game is not currently offered, to help teach some of the students at my high school about what I learned. And so that, I think, has kind of been embodied in the Leadership Development Institutes of today, and I'm really happy to see that begin to take flight. That's awesome. And as of right now, I am at Rice University and absolutely loving it there. And I just wanted to give a great thank you to Lorraine and Ken Decker and to all of Skills for Living for giving my students and I this opportunity for extremely great growth and extremely great good. And I look forward to working with all of you in the years to come. So thank you. Thank you.
We have a certificate for Ellen in recognition for all that she's done and for the contributions she's made, not just in her own life, but in the lives of others. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tammy.